God, what a freaking interesting noise, you know? But noise. What a freaking interesting song. Here's the thing though, you know, that could be like the first sort of judgment call. It's just a lot of noise, you know, and maybe like a Freudian slip on my part. Because in my head it was like, oh, this is noise. And then I said to myself, it's not noise, it's sound. It's sound. Noise is kind of like irritating, you know? Cut that noise out, you know? But when you have sounds like this, sounds, sounds, sounds amazing, sounds interesting. Sounds like I want more.
It's showtime, folks.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Into the Music. And if I had a bell, I've always talked about this before, I would hit it. Ding, 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 ding. Because the first time requester on my Kofi site, Terry Sutton. At least I think it's the first time. Terry, let me know. I think I'm right on that, right? And if so, you are stepping up to the plate with a song from the Swell Maps. That's the name of this band. And that's a pretty cool band name. And the song is Midget Midget Submarines. Yeah, you see how juvenile I am. Just saying the word midget, you know, just break out into stupid laughter. Midget Submarines. I mean, it's just a cool it's a song. Just wonder what I'm gonna get into with this. This is really cool. So yeah, I mean, I know the band. I know that song. No, of course not. So with that said, I will dive right into Midget Submarines. I like the dual guitars, you know, the lower sound and the higher pitched. Whistling going on. Got some kind of, I don't know what that sound is, crumpling paper or something, or I don't know. There's all these sounds and stuff like that. This is pretty wild. But what's keeping the song grounded are those guitars. I mean, that's just that steady, steady rhythm right there. That's just keeping the song, like I said, on track while you have all this noise with sound. Sound. Sound.
Sitting there in fashion, just so pretty, just so real.
banging on a lever or something like that. Some kind of industrial noise. What the hell is that? Cash register? Fantastic on this, though. Really. Talking about the rhythm and just that steady pacing of the rhythm, just keeping the song grounded. Then you had that guitar, wow, 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 through all the sound, multitude of noises, sound, all over the place. And yet it's as though this kind of steady, follow me this way. And that's good because if you didn't have that sort of grounded, the bass and the drum, and that kind of strum of the guitar that kind of just leading the way, it probably the song would be sort of flying all over the place and might actually be too distracting. It's really cool how they're just able to fill this with noises, sounds all over the place, and it's keeping it charming. You know, it's really cool. Yeah, that. That's it. So right off the bat, Joy Division, just that sound, just very reminiscent of that band. So it makes me wonder about when this was recorded. I had that sort of late 70s kind of feel to it. Um, yeah. So or early 80s. I mean, they possibly could have been influenced by Joy Division, and that would have been probably a little bit like after 1980, 81. So I would say in the late 70s, very early 80s time period. But yeah, and but they had, I mean, I'm just talking about just the sound, not like they ripped anything off of them, Joy Division, but um they the vocals were really interesting. Yeah. I probably need to hear more music from this band to say whether I really love the vocals or not, but definitely kept it interesting for me. Um, let's go right back to the beginning because I really loved, that beginning with the two guitars. You know, that just started the song off really well for me. Um, and then as the song was going on, it was just this kind of cacophony of like just these sounds that are just, I wouldn't say they're swirling around. They're just kind of like they're there, just kind of like sort of shooting up, sort of like your volcanic mountain or whatever, and just you know lava just kind of like shooting out of nowhere. You got to be careful. The noises are kind of like what's going on. I mean, there was this kind of like sort of towards the end, but I think it was happening throughout the song. I just was maybe picking up on it towards the end, but like you had like this sort of hot burning sort of noise in the background, like really kind of chaotic that was happening. Um but I mean it was beautiful because of like the way this everything was structured. and there was structure to the song. So as these noises are happening, um, and there's some instrumental. I mean, instrumental. There's like some industrial, like sort of banging and like shuffling. Like it just seemed like they were sort of like these old time sound guys for like the Disney movies. You ever look into that? There's plenty of videos on YouTube about them, sound guys for like cartoons that happened in the 20s, 30s, and 40s, and they would like do, all these kind of, they have like the hammer and they would have other things and the saw and they would go like, woo, like make all these sound effects. And it seemed like maybe these guys were doing that. They were just putting all these sound effects uh, throughout the song. It made it really interesting. Um, yeah, I mean, in one there was one part like it was happening guitar noise. One is in my right ear, and then like I said, the other is like that hot fire sort of squealing almost in the background. Um, God, what a freaking interesting noise, But noise. What a freaking interesting song. Here's the thing though, you know, that could be like the first sort of judgment call. It's just a lot of noise, and maybe like a Freudian slip on my part. Because in my head it was like, oh, this is noise. And then I said to myself, it's not noise, it's sound. It's sound. Noise is kind of like irritating, Cut that noise out. But when you have sounds like this, sounds, sounds, sounds amazing, sounds interesting. Sounds like I want more. I want more from this group. Yeah. So good call, Terry. Good call. I got some information pulled up about this band, Swell Maps, English from Birmingham, England, 1972 through 1980. Oh wow. Okay, so I think I might have been right on the money. Experimental, early punk or post-punk rock group. They were influenced by bands such as T-Rex and the German krautrock groups such as Can and Faust. Faust. They went on to be influential to many others in the post-punk era. Oh, that's really interesting. So if I clicked on influence, they've been cited as influenced by bands including Dinosaur Jr., REM, Nirvana, and Pavement. Thurston Moore from Sonic Youth acknowledged their influence, writing, quote, as soon as that Nicky Sudden guitar comes slicing, slabbing, and all out fuzzifying off that crackling vinyl groove, you know you're gonna rock. It's the best of both worlds. Not worlds, but worlds. Fist in the hot guitar burning rock and ahead of its time. Ahead of its time. Songsmith awareness. The Swell Maps had a lot to do with my upbringing. And it's Scott Canberg, a payment said, quote, Swell Maps was a big influence on our early records. They had these songs they effed up somehow to make sound really dirty and low frequency. But they had these great songs underneath all this mess. Yeah, yeah. It was like a hot mess. I don't know if you could tell my handwriting here. I actually wrote hot mess. Very bad handwriting. But I wrote beautiful hot mess of an ending. That ending was fantastic. Um, and usually hot mess, it's very sort of negative connotations sort of to it. You're a hot mess. Get the hell out of here. Get out of my apartment. You're a hot mess. No, this is like, I don't know. You ever eat something hot and gooey and it's gonna burn your mouth, but that it's so good, so tasty. That could be a hot mess. This is like that. Beautiful hot mess of an ending. I loved it. Yeah. Let me get into the lyrics. And this is off their debut album too, 1979. So they were around since 1972 and they only were able to record their first album in 79. So here we go. Solid in those waters, you were shattered and you lost your name. Cutting lines, you shot the channel, pushing out the galleons in a midget submarine, so much like Escape. Sleeping in a moving train with ammunition and the other guns, diving out of games with all those stens and always so amazed. In a midget submarine, it's all escape. sitting there in fashion, just so pretty, so real, amazed. What is he singing about? Cases, this is like my third Kofi song tonight where I just don't get the lyrics. Could be me. Cases of the cargo, all in canvas with galleons and tanks. In a midget submarine, it's all escape. And just repeats that. All right, Terry, you got to help me out here. What the hell's the song about? I need to know. Again, it doesn't, we go, I mean, I joke about it. What's the song about? And I know full well that songs don't really need to mean anything. You know, you get a good sound, you put some lyrics down, you don't really, you're not, maybe you're not ready, prepared to really kind of write a whole sort of something that will take you, you know, down the road, will open up your eyes, be profound. You just need to kind of match some words to some really cool sounds. Maybe that's what they were doing here. Um, and if that is the case, I wonder if that is their MO, something that they have done a lot with their songs. It sounds kind of like it. You know, it sounds like they're really known for their music, for their sounds. You know, sort of pushing the boundaries, experimenting with, again, noise, beautiful noise, hot mess noise. Terry, this is really good request, man. This is, if this really is your first request on Kofi, you know baseball, knocked it out of the park. Congrats to you. Thank you so much again. And to everyone out there, what do you think about the song, this reaction? If you liked it, hit the like button. If you haven't subbed yet, hit the subs. Hit the subs. Get subbed. Sub on. And I'll see all of you in the next episode of Into the Music.